So I just finished watching Birds of Prey. I was fully prepared to be disappointed. I was very prepared to be upset. I was very prepared to have to rip it apart. I was pleasantly surprised. I was smiling the entire time. It was truly incredible, and I'm so happy that it exists. My two biggest issues going into the movie were that Harley Quinn was never a bird of prey, never a part of the Birds of Prey, never really interacted with the Birds of Prey, so I was really irritated that they were calling it Birds of Prey. Tagged on to that, the only way to make that make sense for me was to include Poison Ivy, because Poison Ivy is a bird of prey. So, to not do a Harley Quinn movie without Poison Ivy was a little stupid, too. Both of those points were proven non-issues, as the Birds of Prey were not actually formed until the end of the movie, effectively setting up 2 sequels off of 1 movie. Good job. And Poison Ivy wasn't necessary for this movie. It was about Harley Quinn saving herself. And in both the cartoons and the comics, Ivy saves Harley and helps pull her up. And there's plenty of time for her to come in down the road. We all know Harley and the Joker are probably not done yet. So next time Joker tries to kill her, introducing Poison Ivy in there, or even just introducing Poison Ivy as an alternative relationship for Harley Quinn is still an option. So those things were resolved for me. Favorite parts of the film. Middle of a fight scene. This has been all over the internet, but middle of a fight scene, Black Canary has hair in her face, and Harley leans over and goes, "Hair tie?" That's the most real shit ever. And I think that just kind of punctuated what they'd been doing the whole movie. Is it was real. Like, the emotions that these girls portrayed and the situations that Harley was in were real. Like, yes, there was a mob boss and everyone was trying to kill her and whatever. It's still a movie. But she was going through a breakup, and what's the first thing we saw her do? She cut her hair. She drank copiously, and she was way overly attached to food, which all girls are. So it was not out of the ordinary. It was very real, and it touched on a lot of points that a lot of women go through on a daily, and I think that was really important. One of my biggest growing concerns as the movie went on was in Black Canary's first, singing scene. She broke a glass while she was singing a note. It wasn't even a super high note. I was like, ooh, there it is. There it is. Yes, good. But then during the whole rest of the movie, including one of their last fight scenes, she was just fighting. She was just a skilled fighter, which, as they're walking out in their nice fancy groups shot, I was like, in my head, I'm like, fuck. These are not women that are just good fighters. These are not all... You chose to do Birds of Prey. You chose to use Black Canary. She's an actual superhero. She has actual superpowers. You can't treat this like, ugh. And I was like really, really upset about it. And then, in the best storytelling way possible, they're walking out of that last fight scene. They all look amazing. Cop gets shot. They thought they had it won. Nope. More guys outside. Now these girls' weapons are depleted. Now they have to hide. And then they pull out Black Canary's powers. It was brilliant timing, brilliant use of what she could do, brilliant use of, I'm going to say it, the hero's journey in Birds of Prey lined up. Not exactly, but very, very close. And I think that's very important to recognize as she gets more important in the franchise as an anti-hero, whichever way they decide to take her character. Birds of Prey, her first solo movie, followed very closely to the hero's journey. And I need everyone to go ahead and remember that. I will bring it up again later. In future videos, I'm sure. The next thing is the main villain in this, Roman, very much resembled Joker. Obviously not in look and actual, I'm not going to say in actual insanity. This guy was fucking crazy. But the way he talked, the way he treated Harley, the way he treated women in general, the way he retaliated against people, it was very, he wanted to be Joker. It was, especially when he found out that Joker was no longer protecting Harley. I think that's really important. He's dead now, but might come up again. He really wanted to be Joker. And I think that's one of the reasons Harley knew how to handle him, is because she was reminded of her ex there. Yeah, okay. They made Renee, they put her in a same-sex couple, but they didn't really pay it off. They just alluded to it. This is her ex. And then there was no interaction there. It was just kind of left out in the open. And there's kind of a double-edged sword there, because on one hand, when writing same-sex couples, you want to treat it like any other relationship. Because it is. It's a normal relationship, and you want it to be portrayed that way. But on the other hand, I feel like DC wanted credit for something they didn't actually do, which we get a lot. Like the same-sex couple kiss in Rise of Skywalker that no one even saw or noticed. That's what it felt like, is here we did this thing, but we didn't, though. But I mean, they could be saving that for Harley and Ivy. She said, hopefully. They should be saving it for Harley and Ivy. As that is probably the healthiest relationship to exist in all of the DC universe. But anyway. Listen to the soundtrack. The soundtrack is killer. I hate covers of songs, like, of popular songs. But the cover, whoever did, and I'm going to look it up, sorry. But Hit Me With Your Best Shot. It was amazing, and it was an amazing use of that song and that version of that song. But the soundtrack was killer. There were amazing cinematography moments in this, when she's busting through the police station and she's got red smoke and blue smoke and she just kind of emerges from it. It was beautiful. And then what did they call it? Amusement Row. It just looked like an old, abandoned, super fucking creepy amusement park. Gorgeous. Like, it just, the way it was shot was beautiful. So cinematography, amazing. Fight choreography, insanely good. I have never seen fight choreography like that. The fight sequences were beautifully executed, so good, so well choreographed, and frequent. I think when most men in the industry think of a female-led superhero movie, especially one that centers around a breakup, they think more chick flicky, and it wasn't at all. The CGI, what was there, it seemed to be mostly practical effects, but what was there was very well done. I will say the CGI in this, and even the fight choreography in this, was better than Wonder Woman. Which kind of hurts me to say because of how much I love that movie, but it also makes me so, so proud. Fight choreography, direction was amazing. Dialogue was... Margot Robbie is the most perfect Harley Quinn. She truly understands the character, and she portrays it in such a beautiful and amazing way that is so true to everything that Harley was in every medium, in film, in cartoons, in comic books. She's done such a good job at it, and I'm really, really happy about it. Acting, directing, cinematography, fight choreography, it was just, it was so well done. It was so well done. It was better than Shazam. It was better than Aquaman. Sorry, everyone can fight me. God, I don't want to say it was better than Wonder Woman just because I waited my whole life for that movie. Every little female nerd did. And it holds such a special place in my heart. And it was the first female led one. So it's like in my being. But it was just so, so good. Everyone go see it. I will absolutely be singing it again at least 3 more times before it leaves the theaters. It's not getting the recognition it deserves, and it needs to, because it was brilliant.